Good morning, Buenos Aires. Such a beautiful city. So today, this is going to be a really special food day. Today for lunch, I'm going to Don Julio, which is arguably the best steakhouse in Argentina, maybe all of Latin America. This place is currently rated as the number 10 restaurant in the world. It has a Michelin Star. It was incredibly hard to get a reservation. I scheduled my trip around this reservation. So yeah, this is going to be a really exciting meal. But right now it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm still jet lagged. I'm super excited, so couldn't really sleep much. And breakfast will be the sponsor of this video. Magic Spoon. By the way, I love these smaller pouches of granola. So much easier to pack. My first time trying peanut butter. This is good. I love granola, by the way. Also, I try to intake a lot of protein every single day, which is another reason I'm so happy I'm in Argentina. Pretty much the beef capital of the world. But this granola, 14 grams of protein, 0 added sugar. The peanut butter is good. I like the honey almond as well. Perfect for a day like this where I want a lighter breakfast, but I still want a lot of protein. So happy I found this. And their new granola is my favorite so far. At home, I also have the Magic Spoon cereal, which ranges from 13 to 14 grams of protein, 0 sugar, 4 to 5 grams of net carbs per serving. And when I run out of this, I also brought some of these Magic Spoon treats, 11 to 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, 2 grams of net carbs. I really like these because they're crispy, crunchy. They also don't have that really sticky consistency that regular protein bars have. And for me, I'm trying my best to watch my sugar intake, my carb intake, you know, when I'm not feasting on dumplings or noodles. So this has been perfect for me. I've been eating Magic Spoon for several years now. And even sometimes I just want a super light protein heavy dinner. I'll just have some Magic Spoon cereal. So if you want to give it a try, use my promo code dumpling or click on the link in the description box below to try Magic Spoon treats or granola today and give $5 off. Or you can just find Magic Spoon on Amazon or your nearest grocery store or Target. And my favorite thing about Magic Spoon, they have a happiness guarantee. So try it out. If you don't like it for any reason, if it doesn't make you happy, you get your money back. So click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/dumpling or scan the QR code on the screen for $5 off. All right, I'll see you for lunch. This is Don Julio, and this is by far the hardest reservation to get in Argentina. It's so cool when you're waiting in line, they just bring you free wine. I've never seen a restaurant do that before. This restaurant is usually booked out 3 months ahead of time. So yeah, I've been waiting for this for a while. And the reason why this reservation is so hard to get, this restaurant is right now ranked number 10 in the world, and it has a Michelin star. Wow.
Very well. Welcome to our wine cellar, sir.
Thank you.
Here we have space to storage more than 15,000 bottles, and currently we have more than 1,500 different labels. Finishing here, we have the aging wines. We have plenty of old vintages here.
Wow. What's the oldest one you have?
The oldest bottle is a white wine, a Semillon from the winery Michelin called Merced del Tiempo. It's from 1923. But we're not currently selling it.
Wow, this is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. As soon as I sat down, they offered to give me a tour of the wine cellar, which is beautiful. They give you 3 different menus. One is their regular menu. One is their tasting menu. So they have a vegetarian tasting menu, a smaller regular tasting menu, and a large tasting menu, and this is what I am getting. There's grilled sausages, peppers, sweetbread, skirt steak, and all their cuts are from Aberdeen Angus and Hereford steers of about 3 years of age, with a live weight of between 500 and 520 kilograms. The reason why they do this is that guarantees the high quality, flavor, and tenderness of Argentine beef.
This tray is divided between the bone-in cuts, leaner cuts, and fattier cuts. For the bone-in cuts, we have the T-bone, the neck strip, and the tenderloin.
Wow.
We have the entrecôte, that's the bone and ribeye, similar to the tomahawk. And that's the short rib. That's of a portion. The portion has 2 strips, yeah? As for leaner cuts, we have the tenderloin, we have the neck strip, and that's a butterfly neck strip. That weighs a little bit more. It's a cut for sharing. Also, we consider leaner cuts the flank steak, that's the picanha.
That's the picanha.
Yeah. And for fatty cuts, we have the prime rib and the ribeye. We have boneless prime rib.
And do you guys use wood charcoal?
Yeah, we use wood charcoal. It's quebracho blancos, a national tree.
National tree?
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And they told me that they grow their own vegetables in their own garden. And right now there's 10 different types of tomatoes in season. So I already love this restaurant so much. Everyone is just so nice. And oh my gosh, here it comes. This is so cool. And they come over and they cut every person a tomato with a little olive oil and salt. And they give you a little empanada. This is so exciting. That meat is so tender. A little beef empanada. This alone is already better than most of the empanadas I've had in my life. Oh, so good. Let's try these tomatoes. They did mention right now, they have 10 different types of tomatoes. You can see it on display in the steakhouse. I don't know which one this is. Wow, I think it's so juicy. Not overly sweet, with tiny hint of tart. That's perfect with some olive oil and salt. This might be the most I've ever enjoyed a tomato. Also, some bread showed up at the table too. Beautifully, oh, this is 100% freshly baked. Fresh from the oven for sure. Oh, the outside is so toasty. They also bring you some salt, some salsa, and of course, chimichurri must have with the steak. So toasty and nice. Look how fluffy it is on the inside. Such a wonderful crust on the outside. Oh yeah, bread is incredible. Add some chimichurri on that. That chimichurri is exquisite. I love chimichurri with a little bit of heat, but that thing brings it. And the first course is steer cecina and a libritos. So the steer cecina are salted, air-dried, thin slices of beef, and it looks so delicate, slightly marbled. And the libritos looks like a very small pastry that feels like it's gonna be really flaky and crispy. And they told me what I should do is put the cecina on the libritos. But before I do that, gotta taste this on its own. Look at how thin this is. You can see the wood pattern beneath the thin slices of beef. This is as translucent as you can get. Oh man, I think there's a little bit of olive oil on top. Wow. Wow. Chewing on that literally made my mouth water more. This tastes exactly like if beef jerky got a Michelin star. It's deeply, deeply beefy, slightly chewy, and just packed with absolute umami. I've never had this pastry before, so again, just eat it on its own first. Oh wow. This is one of the flakiest, butteriest pastry I've ever put in my mouth. I don't know what I was expecting. I've never had one of these before. I was thinking it was stuffed with something. It's not, but this is just pure buttery heaven. And I'm just gonna take their advice, put some cecina on this pastry. How beautiful a blanket does that look like? That was a bite of ultimate texture and flavor. The crispiest pastry wrapped with the most melting in your mouth, thin slice of beef. That is just jam-packed with so much beefy umami. What a combination this is, with a little lemon zest on top to add even more flavor and just that wonderful slight bitterness. That's cecina too. Chewy, not tough, a little bit of smokiness to it, aged perfectly. I'm trying to conserve my bread because it's so good. I can't help it. Where's my weakness? Bread, pasta, dumplings. Oh, they just brought over some olive oil for my bread. They're so attentive here. Olive oil is so good too. I am really excited for the next course. Grilled sausage, grilled and marinated peppers, and ember roasted bread. When they saw that my bread tray was empty, they brought over a new bread. Piping hot straight from the oven too. How cool is this place? Oh, it's even toastier than the last bread. Wow, done that in the olive oil. There are few things in the world as good as fresh bread. This is the best bread I had on the strip so far. My next course is here. Look how beautiful it is. Roasted peppers, sausage, and more bread. But this one, amber roasted. It looks like they added some olive oil on top, some salt. I could easily smell the smoke coming off the bread. This thing was definitely kissed by the fire. They make all their sausages in-house, of course. Whoa. Oh, this is a juicy, juicy sausage. Oh, you just want to praise the food gods after that bite. This is not like any sausage I ever had before. It's just amazingly delicate. The casing is light, provides a subtle little snap. And then your mouth is just filled with a burst of smoky, fatty flavor. And after about 3-4 bites, the heat kicks in, and it's such a welcoming heat. Not over the top, just perfect. This flavor profile is so blissfully complicated. It's gotta be the best sausage I ever had. And right next to it, the sweet smoky peppers. Of course, grilled over the open charcoal fire. It brings such a sweet, tangy contrast to the fatty, rich sausage. I've never had roasted pepper like this before. They also put chilies in this, so this thing brings multiple types of heat to the party. That's amazing. I almost like that as much as I like the sausage. There's something magical going on that grill over there. I don't know if it's the wood or what, but wow, these don't even taste like regular peppers. They taste like peppers that went on vacation and came back with an attitude. Buy the sausage, chase it with the peppers, and then chase it with the bread. I'm telling you, there's something magical going on in that fire. That fire definitely adds an additional depth, a very obvious umami to everything it touches. The bread has so much more flavor. It's really, really smoky. And this combo of sausage, pepper, and bread, I haven't even got to the steak yet. Already, this has been a life-altering meal. After all the food goes down, the hatch, that's when you really notice the smoke. It just lingers, and I don't ever want it to go away. I can't believe how sweet these peppers are. And all the vegetables from their own garden. Unbelievable. It really is. Also, greatest bread ever. This next dish is something you shouldn't overthink and just eat. This is actually my first time trying sweetbread here in South America. And sweetbread is grilled thymus gland, right around the neck of the cow. I don't think I've ever had this in my life, actually. But this is a very, very popular item. It looks really, really juicy. Whoa, that is interesting. First of all, this is very lightly salted, so we're gonna add some salt to this thing. This is unlike anything I expected. It's got a really nice, subtle outer crust. Inside, it's incredibly creamy and so rich. I feel like this thing's gotta have multiple offshore bank accounts. This is delicious. It has a tiny bit of organy flavor, which I actually really like. It tastes kind of like the fatty bits of a very well marbled steak. It's smooth, just so rich, and that's why they serve it with a plate of tomatoes. So this looks different than the tomato I just had earlier. Look at this, tomatoes drizzled in olive oil. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so juicy. Yeah, this thing will cleanse your soul. All that richness in your mouth just instantly dissipates once the tomatoes go in, which honestly, I'm kind of sad about. I love that flavor, yeah. Very mild, a little nutty, and I definitely recommend it with some lemon juice. I always meant to try this dish. I definitely see why people love it. I do really appreciate these tomatoes though. When you eat too much fatty or rich stuff, it will get to you. And I think the tomatoes are a polite reminder to my stomach that not everything going in is cooked in fat. Most things, but not everything. The next course, steak. On a piping hot plate, my first steak. This is a skirt steak. Right away, you can see how juicy this thing is. This thing looked like it just ran for about 10 miles outside in this humid heat. way. How do you say wow in Spanish? Hang on. Guau. Guau. Skirt steak's one of those things where it's pretty much the rebel in the steak world, you know? It's not usually the most tender, but this one will give tenderloin a run for his money. It's charred, it's juicy, it just soaked in all that beautiful beefy essence. Add a little chimichurri to this time. Each bite in this thing is just gushing juice. It's rich, it's meaty, and it gets better as you get to the center. The center is even more tender. If it gets too much, chase it with some arugula salad. Pretty good. I love the steakhouse so much. Just look at this thing sitting in its own pool of meat sweat. Chimichurri is perfect. Adds a little bit of heat along with all that ridiculous flavor. I don't think I've ever had skirt steak as tender as that. Serious question, have you ever seen a skirt steak this juicy before? Cooked this perfectly before? I don't think I have. I'm slicing really thin pieces right now, just so it'll last longer. Try a piece just with a little sprinkle of salt. You definitely taste way more of the smoke. You gotta be careful eating this, otherwise the juice of this beef might just splatter all over you. I'm actually so sad I only have one more course left. My final cut of steak is here, and to me, this cut is not just the crown jewel of the ribeye, it's the crown jewel of the entire cow, the rib cap. Oh, I can already feel the crust on the outside. As soon as the steak was laid out in front of me, I smelled the smoke, I smelled the crispy fat. You can see that beautiful crust on the outside, and when you cut into this, look at all that beautiful, juicy meat and fat. Oh my lord. Holy moly, this is so good. I felt my life flash before my eyes. In a good way. This thing is so tender, it's borderline ridiculous. So much fat in here, such incredible beefy flavor. I love that lovely crust. Sprinkle a little salt on it. Wow. I kid you not, every time I put a piece of that in my mouth, my soul leaves my body a little bit. This is pretty much the highest level of steak. And of course, with just a little salt, you taste so much of that wonderful smoke. And in pretty much every piece, it's gonna have that beautiful sear on the outside, and there's so much fat on this. There's so much flavor in that steak, and I feel like it's beefier than most other steaks because of how the cattle is raised in this country. It's all grass-fed, no hormones. It tastes so pristine. So the rib cap is not gonna be as fatty, whereas marble, as the ones probably in the US, but I think it's got way better flavor. Chase it with some roasted onions. Super sweet, really juicy onions with a little bitterness from the char. That's such a nice compliment to this steak. That's delicious. I haven't even put chimichurri on this yet just because I've been loving this with just a tiny bit of salt. There's no wrong way to eat this steak. Just like the skirt steak, the closer you get to the center, the more tender it is. And again, every single bite is just infused with that smoky umami that just makes it unreal. I almost don't want to eat the onions because I want that flavor to stay in my mouth. This steak right now, I think it's more tender than a tenderloin. Maybe not the tenderloin here, because I bet you the tenderloin in this country is ridiculous. Compared to a premium piece of tenderloin at a fancy steakhouse back home, this is better. It's more tender. Absolutely out of this world. Before this meal, I was even considering getting an additional piece of steak, like an additional ribeye to go with the tasting menu. I'm glad they talked me out of it. This was a lot of food. And definitely one of the best steak experiences of my life. Last item, dessert. This is yolk and vanilla ice cream with grilled cherries on top. I think that means like vanilla ice cream with an egg yolk inside. Wow, this is a rich, rich ice cream. This ice cream is so smooth and velvety. It's like eating pure silk. The cherries on top, grilled cherries, a little smoky, more tart than sweet. Goes so well with the ice cream. Maybe there is a yolk in here because this thing tastes way more velvety and smooth and rich than a typical vanilla ice cream. This is such a sweet, smoky masterpiece. It's great ice cream. Wow, holy moly, this was epic. This whole meal just ended with a fireworks finale. Yeah, like I mentioned, I timed my trip to coincide with this reservation I was able to get. Then this has been a memorable experience to say the least. Top 10 restaurant in the world? I think so. Every course was absolutely magical. If you do come here, I highly recommend getting the course menu like I did. This way you get to taste different cuts of steak, different meats. Their sausage is a must, the peppers, the tomatoes. I've never loved vegetables so much in my life. I can be 3-4 more orders of those peppers. The steak, incredible, all infused with that magical smoky umami from the firewood. And the wood they use, they tell me, is from the national tree of Argentina. So it's a very unique firewood. Again, everybody here, from the moment you step in, has been so courteous and nice. 10 out of 10 on everything. Service, food. It's such a cute place. It's like 97 degrees outside. Feels perfect in here. I love being able to see the wine cellar even though I don't drink. It's such an interesting tour. Yeah, this place, highly, highly recommend. Well, that was a major item crossed off my food bucket list. And of course, all the information for this place is listed down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again. See you later.